If you're waiting for the National Assembly to do anything about the forged tax bill, you're fooling yourself. They won't do nothing about it. Nothing will come out of the National Assembly. And this is the part where you have to decide whether you are one of those who got paid when Nigeria was sold. Because I'm not talking about the compromise of national security. We've only spoken to one aspect of the compromise, and that's the Fulani compromise. We haven't even spoken at all to the Islamist compromise, which has rendered Nigeria incapable of fighting Boko Haram, Lakurawa, and Ansarudin, and God knows how many other licensed madness in our country. We haven't even touched on those ones, and I'm still coming back to those ones because they are even more deadly than the first. So let's face this. In the face of dwindling oil revenue, and it will dwindle since those who sold Nigeria are busy stealing the oil. They are stealing more oil than they are declaring. I was with a friend in the oil industry a few weeks back, and we were just talking. And he said to me, "Adele, come on now. I have an app on my phone that will show me the location of every oil tanker in the world." When they're talking about crude oil theft, we're not talking about crude oil in Kano, in the Kano that is inside. We're not talking about something in a jerry can. We're talking about massive oil tankers that are longer than entire streets. You're talking about things that are over 500 meters long. Now, those are not things that people can see. That when they are talking about crude theft, what you are speaking about is state licensed larceny. State in the sense that the DSS is compromised in that theft. The Navy is compromised in that theft. Every national security organization is compromised in that theft because they all know what is going on. They can see it. I should not even talk about crude theft. And this is the reality of Nigeria. But now, after they have stolen the oil wealth to the point where it is no longer enough to do anything for the people, after they are done stealing what they will steal from what was remaining of what was stolen, because if you are producing 100 and you are declaring only 30 to 35 and you are stealing 60 to 65 up the top, not even declared or ever kept in the common purse to be stolen, a cabal sat at the top already steals that off the top. So the remaining is not enough for them to steal and still do anything impactful in governance. And since they will not bring the natural resources of the country outside of oil, they wouldn't bring the gold into the pot to be shared. They wouldn't bring the lithium into the pot to be shared. They will not bring the diamonds. They will not bring any of the natural resources into the pot to be shared. They steal those ones, and those are the ones that are maintaining the insecurity you see all around the country. Mineral resources being exploited, private militia being maintained, militia being used to chase people off their ancestral land in order to enforce the right of illegal miners. These are the prices we are paying. These are not brought into the common purse, but it is fueling insecurity. It is fueling the civil war that is already consuming Nigeria. And we are still lying to ourselves that Nigeria has not been sold. So, with all of these, the remaining thing to do now is to tax the impoverished victims who think they are citizens. The only thing remaining to be able to maintain an illusion of governance and to also be able to maintain them in the style that they are used to is to tax you. So here is what they've done now. The National Assembly, against the argument of everyone talking about the need to understand that you cannot tax your way to prosperity, the National Assembly passed a tax law that a lot of us, including myself, do not even agree with. We believe that it is unfair to tax the people you've already ruined without plugging the loopholes that you opened to steal everything you are stealing. That it is not right. But in spite of our protestations and everything, you went ahead and you passed the tax bill. But you know what? The same tax bill that we never liked in the first place. I was on this platform a few weeks ago, and I remember calling out two persons specifically, telling them that there is a need to join together to fight against that tax bill. At that time, that tax bill passed Parliament. Joint session, passed, harmonized. And then we heard from one of the House of Rep members that what was passed is different from what has been gazetted. Just before we even finished that distilling or even understanding that, it came out that the tax authority in Nigeria has signed some agreement with the French tax authority. So it is not enough that corrupt domestic leadership has rendered this country almost comatose. Now you have to sell our sovereignty to the French. It is not enough that Nigeria has become the boy of France, running around doing French bidding. It is not enough. Now our economic sovereignty must be handed to France. Niger ran away from France. Burkina Faso ran away from France. Mali ran away from France. Everybody is running away from France. Why is Boulaba running towards France in this insane manner that is leading this country to be sold to France?